Fort Wainwright, Colonel Nate Surrey here, your garrison commander. Welcome to the August Arctic Vibe. We've got some good topics today. We've got the Arctic Light Elementary School principal coming in. We have a Creamersfield person coming in to talk about all the activities out there at that wildlife refuge, both in the summer and the winter. And then we'll be interviewing the hospital commander, Colonel Jimmy Watts, about all the things that are going on in the hospital over the past year and in the future. But I want to start off with some hot topics. The first thing is I will be relinquishing or changing command with Colonel Jason Cole on 8 August at 1100 hours at the Ladd Parade Field. It's been a true honor. It'll be bittersweet. It'll be tough to leave. You all are family to me. You will see me around for the next year. I will be on the base over on the aviation side on Montgomery Road. Next hot topic is probably one that's going to cause a little bit of frustration, but we have done our best to communicate this consistently on Facebook, on things like this. But on 5 August, it's a Saturday in the morning, 05:30, to roughly midnight on a Sunday, 13 August, the main gate will be shut down completely. Good news, Trainer and Montgomery Gate will be open 24 hours a day. The Visitor Center operations will move to Montgomery Gate. Some of you have been on this base for a while. Remember when we had to do that with the main gate last year and 2 years ago when the main gate was completely shut down. We targeted these dates of 5 August to 13 August on purpose. That is during the block leave for the Arctic Wolves Brigade. Therefore, in theory, less traffic coming onto the base. So mark your calendars. Realize Trainer and Montgomery are your two gates that you'll need to use 24 hours a day during that block time. Starting on 14 August, goes back to normal. Main gates open 24/7. Trainer and Montgomery go back to opening early in the morning, closing at 8 o'clock at night. Okay, next top topic would be the Craig Morgan concert. Country singer, so pleased to have him come. He's an Army veteran, and he actually owns a cabin here in Alaska. He'll be doing a concert at Wainwright on 24 August in the evening. That's a Thursday, and then turn around and do a Friday at J Bear on the 25th of August. National Anthem will be at 1700. Doors actually open an hour prior at 1600. It's in the parking lot between the bowling alley and the library and the AFES Furniture store. We've done concerts there before. This is just for DoD ID card holders and their guests. This is not just open like the major concert was in June to the public. So in order to get to this concert, you have to have access to the installation the way we've always done access, which means you have to be sponsored by a DoD ID card holder or be a member of the DoD community. There will be food and beverage there for sale. And again, this is a free concert for those individuals. I hope to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so next, fire department open house. Unfortunately, we had to move this from July, so we rescheduled 19 August, 11 to 1600. That's a Saturday. If those of you who participated in this previously, it's a lot of fun for the kids, especially. There's fire and rescue demonstrations that we do, fire truck rides, apparatus displays, fire safety information everywhere, food. It's just a good time for the community. That's at Fire Station 3. That's on the north side of Post, just near that, in between kind of the headquarters area and the Northtown community, if you're not familiar. Come out and join us. It's a lot of fun. Our firefighters absolutely enjoy this every single year. So hope to see you there. All right, we'll move on to our next topic. Hey, Fort Wainwright, I'm back with a special guest that we had last year. Colonel Jimmy Watts, commander of Bassett Army Community Hospital. Jimmy, welcome.
Thanks, Colonel Surrey. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, so it's been a year for you on the ground. So what in that year is that you would like to tell the community is new and what's coming up in the future?
No, thanks, Nate. Great year. We've had a fantastic year at Bassett Army Community Hospital in Medak, Alaska, Fort Wainwright, as well as in the overall Fairbanks community. Over the last year, we have had a massive transformation within the Medak. we've really moved from a general hospital model to a more focused healthcare delivery model. And so that owes a little bit of explanation. So going from a general hospital model to a more focused model, you'd ask the question, focus on what? And so the focused is focusing on the specific needs of soldiers and their families. What are the healthcare needs of soldiers and their families? And what we've done is we've distilled that down to 5 core areas, and we're building in those 5 areas. First area is blockbuster primary care. Second area is comprehensive women's health. Third area, comprehensive behavioral health. Fourth area, comprehensive musculoskeletal care. And the 5th area is acute care services 24/7. So those 5 areas. And we made significant gains in those areas. Significant gains. And I'll just share those with you very quickly. So in primary care, we've totally redesigned how we execute primary care here. And as a result of that, we've had increased access to care. It is now much, much easier for soldiers and their families to get an appointment with their provider. That was very important to us, to the providers and to families. Now we're hitting about a 75% rate of you being able to see your primary care provider, whereas previously we were at about a 30% rate. That is critical. Second thing, comprehensive women's health. We are just starting to relook at how we perform women's health here. The future for this year looks very bright. Our plan is to provide comprehensive services to include ultrasound, dating ultrasounds, and post-well child visits for all new babies here at Bassett. Our goal is to deliver all of the babies for our TRICARE beneficiaries at Bassett. That's to include Eielson as well as Fort Wainwright. So we've put a lot of resources, and we're continuing to pour a great deal of resources into that specific service. So we have a lot of hiring actions out there to ensure that we have nursing coverage, and we're working very hard to get the OBGYN and nurse midwife coverage to support the expansion of that service. The third thing is comprehensive behavioral health services made great leaps and bounds over the last year. We can now offer soldiers care within 24 hours for any acute care service, and we're down to 12 days of wait time for chronic stable behavioral health care for soldiers. So that has been a phenomenal achievement by the team here, and the next phase is to open that up to families. So Nate, did you know that one of the greatest reasons for us not enlarging our Alaska community is because of behavioral health? And the way that we limit who comes to Alaska is through the EFMP program, which you are aware of. And the biggest detriment to expanding the population here is a lack of behavioral health care services, right? So 75% of our not recommends are for behavioral health. And so what we are doing is we are pouring incredible amount of resources to expand child and family behavioral health services. Now,
is DHA on board with this? Are they actually lessening the hiring times?
Yes.
And authorizing the positions?
Fantastic question. Yes, the answer is yes. So, some objective metrics for you. Because last year, we were sitting at about a 286-day wait time for Alaska to go from decision to hiring. We're down to 180 days. 180 days. Still too long, because the DHA standard is 90 days, right? 90 days. But we've made significant gains. And I'll tell you how we've made those gains. It's ultimately because we've created structures within the hospital that keeps the pressure on the system to move things along. And so we're working another piece to bring on graduates, new graduates for licensed clinical social workers. We're working that right now to bring people out of University of Alaska, Anchorage, straight on to Bassett, because they have an educational program at University of Alaska, and so we've started to ink many deals with the universities to kind of capture those folks to create this pipeline. So DHA is on board. The funding, I will tell you, that's very interesting. The way that we're funded is I, as the commander, get a sum of money each fiscal year, and they say, hey, commander, execute your budget, right? And so we have to sit down as an institution and make choices. And so we've chosen to focus on those 5 areas. And so the good news is we're getting a bigger budget next year than we got this year. We had a 3% increase in the budget, a couple $1 million to add to what we had. And so we're in growth mode in a lot of these areas. Last 2 things I'll touch on is comprehensive musculoskeletal care. We are going to be expanding physical therapy here. So we're moving the pieces around the chessboard to expand their footprint. We've got several hiring actions out for physical therapists and physical therapy techs. And then the last thing is acute care services. So we've struggled over this last year to staff our emergency room. I think everybody is aware of that challenge. I'm very pleased to announce that we were just authorized, and we will be awarding a bigger contract. We're doubling the contract for emergency room physicians. So we are going to be just as competitive as everybody else for talent. So that was a big win for us, and so that should go into effect October 1st. So again, it all comes down to how we allocate the monies provided, and so we've chosen to focus on the things that the community really needs.
So all those other areas you didn't mention, different other specialty health cares, are you still trying to keep those up? Because the burden on the soldiers and families that have to go to Anchorage is immense, me being one of those right now. You're fixing one of those areas for our family over time. But those other ones, I don't know, eyes, neuro, things like that we commonly... because my concern is this is so far away from everything else, and if you want to keep... if you want to broaden your base of Army soldiers and families, and want them to stay, then and I understand the healthcare on the outside, that's tough. So keeping it here, and I just wonder if that's possible, and if DHA understands that.
Yeah, so I think they do. Neurology, for example, I think neurology, very tough ask. Yes. For this area. So what have we done for neurology? Well, we actually made an agreement with FMH. Okay. For neurology specifically, because we knew that neurology is one of those specialties that soldiers and their families need, but it's not to enough of a volume to make the numbers work. However, in the overall Fairbanks community, there is enough of a volume. So FMH came to us as we were building the entire system, and they said, hey, are you guys planning on bringing in a neurologist anytime soon? And I said, no, we're not. And they said, okay, great. Can we count on that portion of the population, right? Because we constitute 1/3 of the population.
That's right.
Right, for Fairbanks. It's about 100,000 people. We constitute 33% of that. And so if we cooperate with Fairbanks and they can count on our 33% and say, yeah, okay, sounds good, they can offer neurologists more lucrative salaries to bring them into Fairbanks, right? So there's certain things where we have to strategically cooperate with FMH. And I'm very happy to say that our team here coordinates with FMH all the time. Fantastic folks over there. We're in direct communication with the chief medical officer, the chief nursing officer. Often, our chief medical officer goes to their medical staff meetings. They come over here. They came over here actually for JPMRC because we shared the evacuation trains, and so I think for certain services partnering with FMH is the way to go, but a solid partnership, right? So that we're not competing, because we've got to make sure that at the end of the day, enough resources are in the local community, because sending people to Anchorage,
that's right,
not the answer.
No,
not the answer.
No, I 100% agree. So it kind of goes into the next. We kind of covered some of this, but what are the challenges outside of what you already talked about that you're facing?
I think the challenge is really moving through the change process, right? Anytime that you're going to make these massive changes, there's going to be friction. There's going to be friction, right? That's why we get paid is to manage that friction. And so I think that what we need right now is to be 100% transparent with the community in forums like this. And there's going to be certain services that we turn off temporarily and then turn back on. I'll give you a perfect example. Is right now we are turning off certain portions of our laboratory service because we're reorganizing. We're not turning off the lab in and of itself, but we're changing the hours, right, to give our soldiers and civilians a chance to reorganize, to plan, and to retool themselves. And so during that short change period, there's going to be friction, right? And so it's the challenge is going to be, can we optimally communicate that to the community so that they can make their plans, so that we don't have the situation of customer coming in to get a service and then being disappointed because they're like, oh, I didn't get the memo on that you guys are making this change. So it's really incumbent upon us, all of us, to make sure that we are pushing information like crazy. And so I think really we've done a fantastic job this year of expanding our digital space footprint. We're very active in our social media. We've opened up an Instagram account. We have a very active Facebook account. And so I think that's a fantastic mechanism to get the word out. So what I would put out to everybody that's watching is stay tuned to those social media accounts to stay up to date with the changes, because there's going to be oscillations as we retool ourselves. And we're doing that and building from the ground up to make sure that we build it right from the ground up, so that we're not doing workarounds because we don't have the excess to afford any waste. One thing over the course of a year, right? So when I came here, I was the new guy, and I will tell you, one of the most magnificent things about this community is its cohesion.
Yep.
I have been blown away by the amount of cohesion and communication that occurs on every echelon on this installation within this community. And so I'm confident that we will be able to use all the different tools available to us to get the word out. And we are pushing really hard in this building to give people enough lead time to get the word out. And I'll tell you, we've had some great successes. One of the big changes that we recently implemented was having kids, dependents, have their own military ID if they're of a certain age to get health care. That went into effect on June the 1st. And so, but we pre-planned messaging that all the way back, I think, from January. And because of those efforts, I have not yet heard of any type of concern or unhappy customer that has come because of not having that piece of documentation, and we haven't had to turn anybody away. Yes. And so that gives me the confidence to know that the infrastructure and the glue is there. We've just got to give the community enough lead time to keep hearing it, and so that's on us. That's on us. So we're working hard to have that long flash to bang time.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, I can't thank you enough. We'll still be working. I will still be working with you
Sure.
soon after I change command in about a week or so. But it's been a true pleasure. Thanks for everything you're doing, and you have a wonderful week.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
I'm alive because people care, because people donate blood, and without the blood given to the Armed Service Blood Program, I would not be able to stand here and tell you about how important it is. So I hope you guys will donate your blood, give back to the community, and make sure that you can keep people alive and going forward in life.
So welcome back, Fort Wainwright. Hey, today I got a special guest, Rachel Blackwell. She's the new principal of Arctic Light Elementary here on Wainwright. So welcome, Rachel.
Hey, thank you.
So, this is a unique community, right? So we only have one school on the base, but it is run by Fairbanks North Star Borough. And so for a lot of parents out there that may be new, this is not a Department of Defense school. Most of your schools in the continental United States or United States, period, are state schools or local schools that own the infrastructure on the base, and then you will have military and civilian kids in some cases coming into that. So I think it's a great way to do business, and we have a great relationship with Fairbanks North Star Borough and Arctic Light itself. So again, welcome. And the first question would be for you is how's your enrollment looking this year?
Sure. So I can tell you right now we have roughly 400 students that are currently registered, and we're going to be working next week to complete and verify those incoming registrations, make sure families are still planning on bringing their students. And if there are families that haven't enrolled their students yet or just arriving here to the base, I would encourage them to enroll their students through the district website so they can do it easily online as soon as possible, just so we can get the process going and make sure that we're as prepared as we can be for the number of students that we're going to have. It's really easy on the website, so if you go to k12northstar.org and up on the right-hand corner, there's a little yellow menu. It just says, I want to. If you hover on that, the fourth one down is enroll my student. And then it gives you all the directions and everything. So I just mentioned that because I know it may be a little different from what people are used to. And so you just follow the directions there, and then that gets all the information to us. And then if we need to contact you, we can. But we want to get students enrolled as soon as possible so we can be ready for them on August 17th.
Yeah, it's coming fast. And it just made me think of something for the new parents. The parents that are on the base already know this, but for the new parents, Arctic Light is districted on the base. And so generally speaking, if you live south of Gaffney Road and your kids are K through 5, you go to Arctic Light. I think I got that right.
I think that's correct, yeah.
I know Northtown, Siku Basin, and Chena Bend. It was Denali, I couldn't remember, but I'm pretty sure Denali goes to Ladd and Tananall too. And so that's just off base out Trainer Gate is Ladd and Tananall. Tananall being 6 through 8, Ladd being K through 5. However, Ladd also, it's too late now, I believe, but each year the district where we look at this, Ladd also has a 6 through 8 option lottery only for smaller classes. So a lot of good information, a lot of different things going on with Fairbanks North Star Borough. From what I've seen, the busing last year was very good for Tananall and Ladd. But we do not do busing for Arctic Light, and that's because where you look at the school and where the districting is, the housing is fairly close. Yeah. So kids are able to walk, at least for part of the year, and ride their bike for part of the year, and or parents can easily drop them off. So just wanted to make sure all the new parents out there that have just come in this summer kind of have a feel for understanding of how we do districting and who owns the schools.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so then now that you're a brand new principal, what are you planning that's new this year?
So this year at Arctic Light, we're going to have lots of new teachers and staff coming in. Of course, I myself am new at Arctic Light. And then I think over the summer, I've hired almost 10 new teachers.
Wow.
So a lot of new people coming into the school. And then as a school district, we're working on the implementation of the Alaska Reads Act. So Alaska Reads Act was passed in June of 2022, and it has a lot of different components, including a requirement for a district reading intervention program. So the goal is to support all students reading on grade level by the end of third grade. And so that's a statewide act that we're going to be implementing. So I've already been working with our teaching and learning department downtown to implement the reading interventions and how we're going to do that at our school, because of course it'll look a little different at every school. But we want to be able to support all the students and make sure that they're getting the instruction that they need for that goal to reach reading proficiency by the end of third grade.
So focuses on the third grade and below is what you're saying.
Yeah, so we will actually work with our fourth and fifth grade students as well.
Okay.
They'll be part of, it'll be a school-wide intervention program.
Sure.
Because of course we know maybe some students have made it to fourth and fifth grade and they are struggling with that reading comprehension or understanding. So we want to try to address those needs as well. All the students are going to be screened similarly to how they have been in the past.
Sure.
But we're going to take that information and then target intervention specifically for the skills that they're missing.
Okay, that's good information. All right, the last question is, I mean, it's kind of vague, but it's also vast. Is like, what can parents do to prepare their kids, for the upcoming school year, like tips and things?
Yeah, I guess, so I thought about this kind of as a parent myself, and I would say, working on healthy habits for your kids. We know, of course, when kids are eating a good breakfast and getting enough rest, that they are more prepared to come to school and learn. So I know from being a parent, right, my own kid is definitely on the summer train of like staying up late and doing what he wants. And so that's something I think just that parents can do to start helping the kids get prepared. Just help them make sure they're getting to bed on time, getting some rest, getting used to waking up in the morning again, all of that good stuff. And I think it's important for parents to be positive and excited about going back to school because that influences the kids and they get excited too. So, I know like my son gets excited when we go together for school supplies, like he has to pick out a new backpack and he like has the list and go around and find all his stuff and just helps get him ready and looking forward to school is kind of what I would hope. So our school supply list for Arctic Light is on our Arctic Light Facebook. And then, of course, all the schools are on the district website as well. Other things I would add, there's a couple of back-to-school events coming up. So there's the world's biggest backpack giveaway, which is a local thing here. They have it out in North Pole, and they do just give away school supplies and backpacks to anybody. So that's coming up on Saturday, August 5th. And then we're going to have...
Do you know where that is in North Pole?
Yeah, it's at the Summit Church, which is on Badger Road. It's the corner of Hearst and Badger. So there's a church out there. If you're on Badger, I think you can find it. And they're giving away all backpacks and school supplies to anybody that comes.
I remember that last year.
Yeah.
And, it's a big hit.
Yeah.
I mean, again, free school supplies.
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you go there?
And I think you can still get excited, right? Because
Yes.
as far as I remember, they have different backpacks you can pick from and things like that. So the kids still kind of can pick their own personal choice that they like. And then, of course, we're going to have a Fort Wainwright back to school event on August 9th. And that's going to be in the evening. So the backpack giveaway is during the day on a Saturday. This one at Fort Wainwright is going to be August 9th. And that's at the youth center. Okay. We're hoping, I think, for good weather. And so we're going to be outside, which will be really nice. And it's from 5 to 7 p.m. in the evening.
Okay.
And there's going to be tables about schools. So Arctic Light will be there. We'll have a school. I know a table. I know LAD's going to be there for sure as well. So there'll be where you can get information about the different schools. And I think there's a Facebook event for that too, for the back to school event. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Rachel, I wish you all the luck. Enjoy it. It's a fun little school. We have several military units that love to participate and help you out.
Yeah.
Purple Star Week and and all of those things. And the Fairbanks North Star Boroughs School District has more Purple Star schools than any other district in the state. As a matter of fact, at one point in time we had over half. So again, the borough, the schools, and the community are very, very tight here, and it's because of people like you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I really look forward to it.
Have a great day.
You too.
With the start of the school year just around the corner, we can expect heavier traffic and more distractions than ever on our roads, especially within school zones and our housing areas. We at the Fort Wainwright Police Department are asking drivers to slow down and be alert for children walking to school, and we'd like to provide you with some helpful traffic safety tips and reminders. Watch for children walking or standing on or near the roads in the mornings and after school hours. Come to a full and complete stop and check both ways before you go through an intersection, and take extra time to look for kids at intersections and near the edge of the roadway. When a school bus comes to a stop and puts out its stop sign, you are required to stop no matter the direction you are approaching from until kids are safely on or off the school bus, cross the street, and the school bus turns off its red flashing lights and retracts its stop sign. Reduce any distractions inside your car so you can concentrate on the road and your surroundings. Put down your cell phone and do not talk or text while driving. Be respectful of staff around the school buildings and parking lots as they are helping guide your students. And please follow any designated traffic flow or parking rules. Lastly, speed limits within post housing and school zones is 15 miles per hour. Remember, slow down and stay alert. I'm Chief of Police Tom Kearns, and on behalf of the entire Fort Wainwright Police Department and Directorate of Emergency Services, we wish everyone a productive and safe school year.
How you doing, Fort Wainwright? My name is Command Sergeant Major Murillo, Garrison Sergeant Major here at Fort Wainwright. I'm sitting with Grace Nelson here, Director of the Friends of Creamers Field. All right, so talk to us a little bit about Creamers Field. That's what we're here today to talk about. All right, so talk to us a little about Creamers Field.
Yeah, absolutely. So Creamers Field, for those of you that don't know, is a 2,500 acre wildlife refuge in the heart of Fairbanks. So it's there's walking trails, skiing trails. You can bike. There's a lot of activities to see, a lot of wildlife, migratory birds. It is actually a migratory waterfowl refuge, which is a really cool opportunity in Fairbanks. There's a lot of research going on the refuge as well. So we encourage anybody to come out who want to just enjoy a little piece of wilderness in the heart of Fairbanks. Yeah.
Okay, so like I was mentioning earlier, my wife and I have gone out there multiple times, and we didn't realize it was a dairy farm. Right?
Yes.
So can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah, so from about 1800s and right up to 1966, it was an operational dairy farm. It actually supplied dairy products to Fort Wainwright at the time. And due to various circumstances, it had to close in the mid-60s. And the owner of the dairy at the time, Mr. Kramer, said, you know, there's birds here. People love recreating here. You know, why don't you make it a waterfowl refuge and keep it wild? And so that's what the state ended up doing with Pittman Robertson funds. And here we are today, you know, 50 years later.
That's neat. All the way to the 1800s. It's crazy. So what about the Tanana Valley Sandhill Crane Festival? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. So Friends of Creamers Field is a nonprofit organization that operates on the refuge, and they host several events throughout the year, one of them being the Tanana Valley Sandhill Crane Festival. And it's coming up here pretty quick. August 15th through the 20th are where the events are going to be, most of the events being the 19th and the 20th there.
Not to be confused with the Tanana State Fair, correct?
Correct,
All
yeah.
Right.
Two different events.
All right.
So right at the refuge there, we're going to have nature walks, workshops, crafts for kids. It's really a family-friendly event, so we encourage anybody to come out. We're going to have experts on migratory waterfowl. We're going to have bird banding. We have a songbird banding project on the refuge, as well as a waterfowl banding project that'll be starting up in August. So we'll have workshops for that as well. Okay. And just kind of celebrate the cranes migrating back down south.
Wow, nice. So where can people find more information about the Refuge?
Yeah, so more information you can find at www.friendsofcreamersfield.org, or you can find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. That's going to be your best source of information. You can also just stop by. We're located at 1300 College Road. If you drive down the lane to the big white barn there, we're in the Farmhouse Visitor Center, and it's a really cool little place to get more information and learn more about Kramer's.
You can't miss it because it says Creamery right across the barn, right?
Correct, yeah.
All right, so Grace, thank you very much for coming out and talking to us a little bit about the Creamer's Field.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. All right, thank you, Fort Wainwright.
My name is Mike Terrace with the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. I'm going to talk a little bit about the 40-mile caribou herd hunt that is coming up on August 10th and very soon. This hunt is a registration hunt. It's called RC 860. So if you are planning on going on this hunt, you need to get a registration permit in addition to your hunting license. So this is not a regular caribou harvest ticket. It's a registration permit. You can get it online. You can get it in any of the area offices, but easy to get online as well. So a couple things about that permit while we're talking about the actual RC 860. It is a registration permit because there's a quota on the herd. This year the quota for the 40-mile caribou herd is 1,000 animals. 750 of those are for the fall hunt. And this is a bulls only hunt, and that's really important because we have had hunts before where it's bulls or cows. This fall hunt is bulls only, so you have to take a bull. And while I'm talking about that, one of the big violations that may occur is not leaving evidence of sex on the animal. When we have a bull only hunt or a single sex hunt, you have to leave evidence of sex remaining on the rear quarter of that animal. So when you're skinning it out and when you're field dressing it, make sure you cut around the patch of fur, around the scrotum and the penis, and leave that attached to the rear quarter. You'll get checked, and they will check for that. We have a 40-mile caribou herd hotline that updates about that hunt, and the number for that is 907-267-2310. And if you're interested in learning a lot more about the 40-mile caribou herd, we have just published a 40-mile caribou herd newsletter with a lot of information about the strategy for the hunt, why we're doing the quota that we have, why we're doing bulls only, all that. So you can come in here and get a copy of that. You could also find it on our website under the caribou, hunting, and more resources. So hopefully, good luck, and hopefully you can get out and try to get yourself a bull caribou for the fall season.
All right, Fort Wainwright, welcome back for our closing. It's been a true honor to command the garrison here. This has been my state of residence since 2000. It's where my family is going to retire. We love this community, best community in the entire United States Army. Anybody that's ever been here would agree. You will not find better people across the board, or better culture, or a more majestic state. Please be safe when you're out recreating the rest of this summer. Boating is probably one of the most dangerous things you can do. Anything on the water, people get overconfident. We've had a couple horrific accidents in the Fairbanks community this year already. So just be smart, plan ahead, think of contingencies before you go outdoors and recreate, and you will continue to enjoy this great state. Take care. Have a great week.